classic control deck, and it spans back into like the history of Type 1.5 or Legacy. This deck's called Landstill, and it's very unusual, and if players aren't familiar with how to interact and play against it, it causes a lot of problems. It plays at instant speed, and so your opponent has trouble deciphering what your line is or what you're trying to achieve. It's relatively powerful, Standstill in and of itself. This is the card right here. So it's very interesting because it creates sort of this draw engine where if I play Standstill, the person that needs to break the Standstill, their opponent will draw 3, which is usually my opponent. It's very interesting though because Standstill in and of itself creates this game where you can't cast spells. However, my deck looks to over leverage that because I play Mishras Factory or Mishras Factory. That's a nice piece right there. That's a winter one. You can't get these in white border. Kind of funny for all those who understand that one. And Mishras Factory is great because it's a land that taps for colorless, but it also turns into a 2/2 creature, and sometimes it's a 3/3 as a blocker as well. It's a very powerful card because I can play it underneath the Standstill and attack my opponent. Usually what Standstill does is you'll play it and it'll take a snapshot of the board state and say, whoever's winning on the board, that person's probably winning the game. So all these other cards are also very interesting in interacting with Standstill. Perhaps the most powerful card is Grim Lavamancer, and the reason why this card is so good, this one also doesn't come in white border, but this one is so good is because
it's a 9th edition one.
It's a 9th edition one, right? Yeah. This one is it's 1 mana, so you can deploy it early. And in Legacy, you know, it's all about the first 3 turns or the break is very important because your opponent will be developing cards like Delver's Secrets, and they'll be playing Thoughtseize sometimes, or they'll be playing Deathrite Shaman is the classic. It's just very good and in a lot of formats, but if you play Grim Lavamancer, it's very unlikely that they'll deploy threats to the board because they want to deal with your Grim Lavamancer before they can actually play something. On the back side of it is there's a couple flash creatures, and these two series of flash creatures, this one is called Spellstutter Sprite, and this card is actually very deceptively powerful. And so this is great if my opponent's breaking Standstill with like a Brainstorm or like a Thoughtseize or a Cabal Therapy. Additionally, this deck also plays Stoneforge Mystic with the full complement of equipment, the Jitte, the Fire Ice, or the Sword of Fire and Ice, and the Batterskull as well. And so with this flash flying creature coming in, it allows me to give a creature with evasion. I can go ahead and hit with a Sword of Fire and Ice, which is actually very nice in a lot of circumstances. It plays like a traditional blue deck, and it has a lot of advantage. It can actually function well. Even without Standstill, I can just play a Stoneforge style deck where I go, you know, like Stoneblade was a classic one. Grim Lavamancer, Stoneforge Mystic, Force of Will, Vendillion Clique. That's fine. You know, that's a whole deck in and of itself, right? This one's called Keljoran Outpost, and I make a 1/1 soldier token, and with all of the equipment on my side, it actually turns out to be very, very deadly and very effective. It's also one of those cards that my opponent can't really deal with, like if I'm playing against Miracles, they can't really Council's Judgment it or deal with the permanent. It's hard, it's an axis that's hard to fight on, you know, your land base. The last card is, your viewers will get a kick out of this, is Chandra, Torch of Defiance. It actually was very relevant in several of my games today, but Chandra has a very interesting backstory. I actually, when this card came out, I thought it was going to be worth a lot of money, like a lot of money. I had this insane bet with my friend that if Chandra was under $35 by December 1st, so she got released in November, and if she was under $35 by December 1st, I would play one in my deck, and any deck in which it was legal on. So it was kind of insane because I was actually trying to play the modern event, which was going to be, I was going to play Esper, right? And I would have to play one of these in my sideboard. And so I'd have to play a 14-card sideboard because I lost a bet about Chandra, and it was terrible. It was just ridiculous. But I'm here playing Chandra now, and Chandra's a great card. I actually played it versus Jund, and he had Pyroblast in hand. I tapped out, he was going to Pyroblast my Jace. Turned out it was Chandra, it was different, and it was great. It was fantastic.